We got a lot of juicy content out of this podcast that just happened. The EVW 25 preview here with Devin, Neil, Ray, and Robert. Want to highlight some key things, such as Dadikyan was mentioned at the start of the podcast. Looks like he's coming back in December on the right arm, according to Robert. That's what it's looking like. Smaev was mentioned as well. They were talking about how he's not physically prepared enough to compete. Also, he doesn't want to lose muscle by going on a plane. And then it was proposed that Brian Shaw, I think it was Kevin Wolf, proposed that Brian Shaw would be a good opponent for Smaev because they both could agree to have a match somewhere in between so that they lose the same amount of muscle on the plane when they go to a match. That was an interesting part as well. Also in this podcast, you had Devin trolling Georgi Svetkov for about 15 minutes straight, talking about people who he would lose to, basically. A plethora of different opponents that would beat Georgi Svetkov. A lot of trolling there. Now, Robert also mentioned someone in Russia is sabotaging the communication between the organization and the athletes, trying to sabotage matches. It was unclear who that was in particular or, any more specific details, but that's something we've heard in a recent podcast as well. Another thing to mention is that the winner of Georgi and Camille is a, quote, good idea, says Robert, to face Devin. So whether it's Svetkov or Camille, the winner facing Devin. In the meantime, if Levon faces Vitaly in December, then it makes sense for Devin to have a right arm match against one of those guys. I think that would be interesting for sure. Also, Robert was talking about Rikard Bornmann's shape and how he thinks he's going to completely crush Philip Larson. He's in a really good shape right now. He's apparently building his own home gym, and he's like a full-time arm wrestler now, so that's huge. Also, he mentioned how Alajan thinks that Rikard Bornmann is up there with Morozov on the right arm with his abilities. So he's definitely a guy who's, basically could be in the top 10 with his abilities on the right arm. I just put up a poll who would win on the right arm between Rikard and Georgi Svetkov. Georgi is a favorite, of course, but I also want to highlight this promotional video from Alajan, which was really good. Like, whoever did the production on this, it was fantastic. The video quality, overall script, like all the shots. It doesn't get much better than this in terms of a promotional video. You have Alajan the Warrior riding a horse here, getting ready to hunt Vitaly on August 1st on the left arm, guys. Make sure to buy the pay-per-view. We're like barely just over a week until this match. Use code TOM on the pay-per-view, guys. But, look at this promotional video here. Extremely impressive video quality. Alajan's forearms are absurdly ridiculous. That's another thing they were mentioning on this podcast, how his forearms just look inhumane, and that's for sure. Got to see him in person, got to interview him at the recent EVW event, which was pretty cool. This guy's a absolute weapon. Really can't wait to see his match with Vitaly. I did pick Vitaly as a favorite. In my prediction video, I said Vitaly's going to win 4-0, but we are going to find out. Super cool promotional video there. Also want to mention that the Smaev topic, it's definitely a relevant topic. For some reason, Andrei Smaev has his comments disabled now. I think I read somewhere that he's taking a break from social media or something. I'm not sure if that's the case, but here he just posted recently some forearm grip training. He's been posting a lot of arm wrestling lifts and stuff recently, although he's not going to the Batumi event, unfortunately. Would have been cool to see him versus Leonidas, but as Robert mentioned in the podcast, he thinks, Smaev is not ready, doesn't think he can beat Leonidas, doesn't think he's physically prepared, and doesn't want to lose muscle with travel. So figured I would cover some of the topics that were mentioned in that podcast. I'll put the link in the description so you can watch it for yourself. But once again, buy the pay-per-view, guys. Code TOM to support my channel if you want a lot more arm wrestling content coming out. Hit like and subscribe as well. Appreciate it.